What if I told you that people can judge your strength, intelligence, confidence, and status within the first few seconds of hearing you speak? Sounds unfair, right? But that's exactly how the world works. Because people don't see your potential first. They hear your words first. They don't see your goals first. They hear your voice first. And most men destroy their own respect without even realizing it. They talk too much. They explain too much. They try too hard. They seek approval. They speak with doubt, speak with fear, speak with hesitation. And then they wonder, why does nobody take me seriously? But here's the truth powerful men understand. Power isn't loud. Power isn't desperate. Power doesn't beg people to listen. Real power speaks once, and people pay attention. Think about the most powerful person you've ever seen. Did they talk non-stop? Did they try to prove themselves every second? No. They spoke calmly, slowly, with certainty. Because powerful men understand one thing. The less you seek attention, the more attention you command. And once you learn the dangerous speaking habit silently destroying your respect, you'll never talk the same way again. Because let me tell you something strange. Have you ever met someone who walked into a room, said only a few words, and suddenly everyone became quiet? Everyone listened. Everyone paid attention. Not because they were the loudest. Not because they had the deepest voice. Not because they were trying to dominate the room. But because something about the way they spoke felt different. Felt heavy. Felt powerful. Now here's the question. What exactly creates that feeling? Is it confidence? Is it body language? Is it intelligence? No. It's something much deeper. And most people never realize it. Because weak men speak to get attention. Powerful men speak with intention. Big difference. Huge difference. Weak men speak because silence makes them uncomfortable. Powerful men become comfortable with silence. Weak men rush their words. Powerful men control their pace. Weak men try to impress people. Powerful men let people become impressed naturally. And here's where people make a huge mistake. They think talking more makes them look smarter. But in reality, talking more usually creates the opposite effect. Think about this carefully. The person always explaining themselves, always trying to prove themselves, always talking non-stop, usually looks insecure. Because people can feel desperation. Even if you never say it directly. They can hear it inside your words. They can hear it in your voice. They can hear it in your energy. And people naturally move away from weakness. But powerful men understand something dangerous. The person who controls their words, controls the conversation. And the person who controls the conversation, often controls the room. That's why powerful men never rush to fill silence. Because silence creates pressure. And pressure creates attention. Imagine two men sitting in a room. One talks non-stop, explaining everything, trying hard to sound smart, trying hard to sound important. The second man stays calm, listens carefully, speaks only when necessary, pauses before answering, and says less. Now be honest. Which one feels more powerful? Exactly. The second one. Every single time. Because silence makes people curious. Silence creates mystery. Silence creates value. And here's something even crazier. People remember fewer powerful words, more than thousands of meaningless words. And this is where the first rule of powerful men begins. Stop speaking to impress people. Because the moment you start speaking for approval, you lose power immediately. Think about it. How many times have you done this? Someone tells a story, and immediately you jump in with your own story. Someone talks about success, and suddenly you start proving your success. Someone talks about experience, and suddenly you start explaining your experience. Why? Because deep inside, most people are secretly saying, "Please notice me. Please respect me. Please think I'm important." But here's the brutal truth. The harder you try to look important, the less important you appear. Because lions never walk around trying to convince people they're lions. They simply exist. Their presence speaks before they do. And powerful men are exactly the same. They don't enter a room saying, "Respect me." They don't enter a room saying, "Look at me." They don't enter a room trying to prove anything. Because confidence doesn't scream. Confidence sits quietly. Confidence observes. Confidence waits. Confidence speaks only when necessary. And here's where things become dangerous. Because most people cannot tolerate silence. The second silence appears, they panic. They start talking randomly. They start oversharing. They start explaining unnecessary things. They start saying things they later regret. And powerful people know this. That's why sometimes, they intentionally stay silent. Because silence reveals people. Silence makes nervous people talk too much. Silence makes insecure people explain too much. Silence makes weak people expose themselves. While powerful men just sit there, watching, listening, learning. And while everyone else is busy trying to be heard, powerful men are becoming the smartest person in the room. Because people reveal everything when they talk too much. Their fears. Their insecurities. Their weaknesses. Their desperation. Everything. And that's why powerful men listen more than they speak. Because while weak people want attention, powerful people want information. Now you're probably thinking, okay, I understand the problem. But how do I actually talk like a powerful man? Here's where everything changes. Because power in speech isn't magic. It's a skill. And powerful men follow rules almost nobody notices. Rule number 1. Slow down. Most people speak fast because they're afraid. Afraid of judgment. Afraid of silence. Afraid people won't listen. But powerful people never rush. Because rushing says, "I'm nervous." Calmness says, "I'm in control." Start speaking 10% slower than normal. Not like a robot, not unnaturally, just enough to sound calm and certain. You'll immediately feel a difference. Rule number 2. Stop explaining everything. This destroys respect faster than people realize. Imagine somebody asks, "Why were you late?" Weak energy says, Sorry, there was traffic and then my phone died and then." Powerful energy says, "I got delayed." Stop creating long unnecessary explanations. Say what needs to be said, then stop. Remember this. The more you defend yourself, the more people feel weakness. Rule number 3. Pause before speaking. This one is powerful. Because most people react instantly. Powerful people respond intentionally. When somebody asks you something, don't rush, take one small pause, think, then answer. That tiny pause changes everything. Suddenly people feel your words matter. Rule number 4. Remove weak words. Stop saying, "Maybe. I guess. Kind of. I don't know but." Every few seconds. Because every unnecessary weak word removes certainty from your voice. Instead of saying, "I think this might work," say, "This works." Instead of saying, "Maybe we should try this," say, "Let's do this." Certainty changes perception. And here's the final rule, the most important one. Speak less, but make every word count. Because powerful men understand something most people never learn. People don't respect noise. People respect value. They respect presence. They respect certainty. They respect self-control. Now imagine yourself 30 days from now. You walk into a room differently. You sit differently. You speak differently. People stop interrupting you. People start listening carefully. Your words suddenly feel heavier, not because you became louder, but because you became stronger. Because powerful speech was never about controlling others. It was about controlling yourself. And remember this one sentence, because it can change the way you speak forever. Weak men talk to be noticed. Powerful men speak because they have something worth saying. Before you leave, I want you to do something most people won't have the courage to do. Because watching a video changes nothing. Action changes everything. Right now go into the comments and type, "I speak with power." Not for me. For yourself. Because the moment you write it, you stop being the old version of you. And if you're ready to become a man people naturally respect, a man who controls his words, controls his emotions, and controls his life, hit that subscribe button right now. Because from today, we are not speaking like weak men anymore. We are building the mindset of powerful men. And one more thing, don't stop here. If you truly want to transform your mindset, go watch the other videos on this channel right now. Because every video is another step toward becoming stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and impossible to ignore. Your next breakthrough might already be waiting for you there.